Hi there, this is Noah with Event Rental Systems. In today's demo, we are going to take a look at the front-end side of our software, or live website. Now, we're using Hotjar, Google Analytics, and other softwares under the hood in concert with our proprietary system to optimize your business and keep an eye on every step of the sales funnel. So let's get right to it. This is a website that was built with our system, and as you can see, it's a really nice looking website. This is going to, if this were this is a demo site, but if this were a real site, this would score pretty well on SEO. We would probably put a little bit more content on the page to really try to optimize for that SEO, but as you can see, we build some pretty nice looking websites. And one of the key features of our software is online booking. Your customers can book their bounce houses, concession machines, etc. through your website from start to finish without ever having to call you. You can literally be asleep while they're booking their stuff. Great feeling to wake up with money in your pocket. Side note, you don't have to have all of your inventory available for online booking. There are some things, for example, like if you do some weddings and you do custom backdrops, obviously that's going to be a custom quote each time, so you wouldn't have that available for online booking. And there are a few companies that we serve that maybe they're in that sort of a niche where everything they do is a custom quote, so all of their stuff is set to not have online booking. You can do it however you like, and that's kind of a theme with our software, is that however you want it, you can have it. We support pretty much everything. So let's go ahead and get started on an online order. I'm going to go ahead and click here under Get Started, and I'm going to go ahead and check real-time availability. Now, when I say check availability in real time, what I mean by that is that we are going to see, when we choose the date for our party, and the time in this case. And by the way, keep in mind that you don't have to have a time selector here. I know some people just prefer to say pick the date of your party, and then maybe at the end of the shopping process you can have a custom field that says something like, if you need us there we normally deliver by 10 o'clock and pick up by 6 o'clock, or and if you need us outside of those hours, give us a call. Or maybe they have like a custom option, like 8 a.m. 8 a.m. deliveries, like an extra $50 or whatever. You can automate all of that stuff in terms of giving your customers the shopping experience that you want. You could also have time slots where maybe you have like a morning time slot and an afternoon time slot. So they choose their date and then they just choose that one, either morning or afternoon, right? You can do it however you want. You can even have different options. We have some people who actually have it start out where, because they have different procedures for weekdays versus weekends. So the first thing is it asks them, do you want a weekday rental or a weekend? So it really can be however you want it to. But anyway, so real-time availability, what that really means is that we are going to actually see what is going to be available on November 6th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. We're not going to be able to rent anything that's not available during that time. And so we're not going to wind up, at our cart at the end of the shopping process only to discover that, darn, like the stuff we want isn't available. Now this right here is what we call a cart step. So you can collect people's contact information on this step right here, and I've made a custom phrase for my cart step. I want to encourage people to, when I say see what specials and discounts you qualify for, that's kind of a selling point, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just put my own information in here and click here to continue. And we are also going to see that the ERS system is going to automatically upsell for you. So for example, this is what we call our standard suggested add-on, meaning that this is sort of like the default, right? It's just kind of, stuff that you think would be enticing to customers that will increase your ticket sizes. But once I put this snow cone machine in my cart, and this is what we call a required add-on, you can't skip it, right? It's required. It's not just for upselling. You need this information to complete the order. Now, you don't have to have that. Some people don't include a free flavor with their snow cone machine, but you can set it up this way if you want, is the point. So I'm going to choose my free flavor, and you're going to see that after I've done that, it's actually going to display a different suggested add-on. So I don't want just the same one every time, right? The customers who have ordered this have also ordered the following. No, I want to customize it for each thing. Oh, hey, some additional syrup. Sweet. Yeah, good idea. Okay, here we go. I'm going to add some cherry flavor to my cart. And then once I've added that, oh, hey, there's a different suggested add-on. So I'm really being strategic about this. All right, I am going to What the heck? I'm going to get a gift card for my brother for his birthday. He keeps calling me cheap. I'm going to prove him wrong. All right, let's go ahead and check out now. Now, one of the benefits of that cart step that I showed you on the last screen is that I've already gotten this customer's information. So if I got distracted and didn't check out, the system would automatically send me an email and a text message after 10 minutes letting me know, hey Noah, I saw you had started to place an order with us and you didn't finish. So here's a coupon code that'll give you $10 off and you can go ahead and finish. And it's actually also going to send that same notification to me, the business owner. Now, I know that the system already sent them an email and a text, but if I feel like it, I can add a personal touch by reaching out to the customer. Now, the other benefit of that cart step is that once they click on continue and their information is in the system, you now have marketing data. So we can use this marketing data in the future to send email blasts and that sort of thing to our customers to try to really generate as much repeat business as possible. Now, the ERS system is also going to generate you some repeat business in an automated fashion with automatic messages, which we will cover in a little bit here. But once again, this page right here is completely customizable. So I like the fields that I've gotten in here. I've really customized this to feel the way that I like it to, but you don't have to have this kind of stuff in here. Some people feel like, you know, having a company name field isn't necessary or a location name field. Maybe they don't want to collect that birthday information. We do have a birthday report, so you can actually send people a happy birthday email, you know, that sort of thing. And actually, there's also, you can use availability rule sets to automatically send somebody a happy birthday email. So I like collecting this information. I feel like birthdays are useful. Any little thing I can do to, you know, generate more communication with my customers is going to, in turn, generate more repeat business. So I'm going to go ahead and autofill all this stuff here, and going to mark it event address same as billing. Now, this public park question that I'm asking here is going to trigger some functionality that we'll take a look at in just a minute here. So setup surface, you can see I have included a little thing that says no rocks. We can't set up on rocks. And you can see that we actually have custom made an additional $15 charge to set up on concrete or asphalt or indoors. But, you know, it's more labor for us, so we're going to charge a little extra. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that option. And we've got our how did you hear of us field here, and you can customize these choices here. I'm going to go ahead and choose Facebook. Now, this is a big, huge thing for our system. We've had one of our customers actually took in about $85,000 one year in damage waivers. So you can see from the phrasing here, what it basically means is, you know, if your customer chooses this, then they're gonna, and something happens to your equipment while it's at their house, then you're not gonna bill them for it. And a lot of people are like, you know, that makes them super nervous. They're like, why would I take away my ability to charge people for my stuff that they break? That seems like asking for trouble. The thing is, most of your customers aren't going to damage your equipment, right? And you'd be surprised how many people will opt to go ahead and do this damage waiver. So you're going to take in a whole lot more from this damage waiver than you're going to wind up having to spend to fix your equipment. But the other thing you got to consider is, okay, so what if you get a bad customer who does damage your stuff and they're careless and, you know, you want to hold their feet to the fire and hold them accountable? Well, that's an understandable thing to feel and think. But realistically, if you think through what's going to happen when you do that, a lot of the time you're going to wind up with a negative Google review, even though you were right. And that still damages you. Right? So our solution is just do the damage waiver thing. This is going to be set up automatically for your account. As soon as you sign up, you don't even have to do anything. And one of the cool things is that if you noticed with this park question, there's a blank option, right? They could just leave it blank and just skip the question. With the damage waiver, they can also skip the question, but there's no blank option. It defaults to yes. If they don't want the damage waiver, they actually have to click in and choose no. So a lot of people are just going to leave it at yes, and that's great. That's a few extra dollars per order for you. Again, damage waivers are free money. We're big fans. Once again, though, like everything else in our system, if this doesn't seem right to you, you don't want it, you don't have to have it. So, going to go ahead and click this box right here. Now you can see we've got a loyalty program. You can use points for a lot of different things. What we're using it for in this particular case is a loyalty program. So this, I am a repeat customer in this case, and I've already got 145 loyalty points, and my loyalty program is set to give people a $50 off coupon if they collect 100 loyalty points. And I'm going to earn 85 loyalty points for this order. So I'm going to click here, and that's going to automatically put that coupon code in there, in that coupon code field, to give me $50 off my order. All right, so we can see all of our fees are itemized here. And I'm going to travel fee. Now this is essentially an upselling feature. Once again, this is the kind of thing that increases your ticket sizes. And I'm doing this by mile. So you can do travel fee by city, travel fee by zip code. You don't have to have travel fees if you don't like. In my case, I'm doing it by the mile. I've got it set up to be $10 if it's less than 5 miles, and if it's 5 miles or more, it's $2 a mile thereafter. So I'm going to collect a minimum of a $10 travel fee, even if it's right next door, just because it's essentially basically a way of kind of compensating for my labor costs, my fuel costs, etc., etc. So I am going to go ahead and select credit card here. And we can see that the deposit in this case is set to 50% of the total, because the way I do it is 50% for any order $500 or higher, and $50 flat for any order below $500. But you can also have it depend on, items in the cart, etc. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little tip in here. Going to go ahead and put in my dummy credit card credentials, because it's a dummy account for a dummy user. Hey. That was not nice, what I just said about myself. Okay, so there's my order. Now, I felt my phone buzz in my pocket. That's going to be my emailed receipt. Let's go ahead and check that right quick. All right, here we go. There is my receipt. Pretty nifty looking document. We can see that I still have that balance due. I can pay the balance by clicking here. And you get the idea there. I can also sign my contract by clicking here. So I can initial here. And this can be done on either a computer or a phone or iPad. Now, realistically speaking, we know a fair number of our customers aren't going to sign this contract ahead of time. A lot of them will, but a lot of them won't. But that's fine. We can pull up this contract, or our driver can pull up this contract using our mobile app when you get to the event to set up, and have the customer sign on your phone or on your driver's phone. So we'll cover that in more detail in a little bit here. But a lot of our competitors don't have a mobile app. Our mobile app is free, and it's no additional charge for additional users. All right, so let's go back into our control panel and take a look at what we've got there. Now, as mentioned earlier, this is our event calendar right here, and I'm going to go ahead and click into delivery, and that's going to enable me to make routes and assign drivers. So let's go ahead and go to this day to route it. I've got a setting that I limit a total of 6 orders per truck. That's one of many settings that you can set, the default parameters for. It's also going to think about things like, your locations of events and all that sort of thing. There's pretty complex algorithms that go into this so that you don't have to think about all that stuff. This is one of the most powerful parts of the system, and it'll save you tons of time. So I'm going to just zoom out a little bit, and we can see that the system has placed some of the orders on truck number 1 and some of the orders on truck number 2. They're color coded. Now when I click here, that's going to give me some details about the order. It's going to automatically highlight the corresponding pickup. So this is the delivery and that's the pickup, and you can see that they're color coded. Your deliveries are going to be green and your pickups are going to be that kind of light pink color. Ooh, what a wise customer. Now, the window is the arrival window. In other words, I can be up to 4 hours early for a given event. Now, but I can also adjust that. So if, for example, the customer, I know that this customer told me, no, we're not going to be home until, say 9 o'clock, and the event starts at 10 o'clock, then I could change that to be an hour-long window. I've got my setup time here, my takedown. I can adjust that per order as well. You sort of get the idea. But I'm also noticing here that the event starts at 10, but this little time in the bottom right-hand corner is what time the system anticipates that I'll be finished. And that comes from what time did I leave? 6 o'clock. How long will it take me to get there? 14 minutes. I arrive at 6:14 and 20 minutes to set up. So 6:34 is when I'm going to be done. And when I look down the line here, I can see that all of my events, my first one is at 10. All of the rest of them are after that, and I'm several hours early to each event. That's fine. It's not a big deal, but it's not necessary. I don't need to make my drivers come in at the crack of dawn, and they would probably appreciate a few extra hours of sleep. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust my start time here. I'm going to tell them, you know what? Maybe let's see if it'll work if they come in at 9. Nope. That red tells me that we're going to be late. So I need to give myself a little bit more leeway there. I'm going to go with 8:30. I have enough leeway there. I could even, if I wanted to be extra conservative, I could even do that. But you get the idea. You know, those adjustments kind of tell you exactly how long it's going to take. Now, I don't think these ones actually adjusted at all. And the reason why is because these events are much, much later in the day. So maybe I might add a warehouse stop here. So because what I can do is I can have my drivers come back. They're going to be done with this at 10:18. So I can have them come back to the warehouse and, you know, clean some units and whatnot for a few minutes before lunch, and then have lunch. And then I'll send them back out to do the, you know, the pickups and the remaining drop-offs for the afternoon. So I'm going to go ahead and click here so that I can make changes. And I'm going to go to here and I'm going to add a warehouse stop. I'm going to move it over here. And sweet. Okay, cool. Now, the duration can be a little longer than that. Let's try 2 hours and see how that affects things. Okay, we still have like an hour and a half on that one and almost 2 hours on this one. Okay, so let's see here. Let's add another hour to that warehouse stop. Okay, cool. Yep, that gives us plenty of time for that. And when we look down the line, you know, normally most of our customers are fine with having a bounce house for a little bit of extra time, right? They're going to have their bounce house for like an extra, you know, or their combo unit in this case for like an extra hour and a half. You know, normally that kind of thing is fine. This is the kind of thing where if you feel like it, you know, you could reach out to the customers and say, hey, is it okay that you'll have your units a little bit of extra time, you know? And if for example, if this person tells you, no, we have to leave at 3:30, well, then you can make an adjustment. You know, you can maybe move this one over here, that, you know, that sort of thing. So the warehouse stop, if I wanted to, let's say, for example, I needed the boys to go to the Home Depot and grab some work gloves before they come back to the warehouse. So I could actually add another stop and move it over here. Let's actually move it here in front of the other warehouse stop. And I can change the name of the stop and the address. So I'm going to go ahead and update this address. I'm going to call the stop duration, say 20 minutes, because it really shouldn't take them that long. Now we can see that it, you know, it made some adjustments down the line. I still feel like we have enough of a window, but if I needed to, I could go back into this warehouse stop and adjust my stop duration here. And I forgot to click on update. Now, another thing I can do is I can actually save locations in my folder. So if this is a regular stop for us, I can actually save it in there and save myself some time so that I don't have to, you know, manually adjust the name of the place and the address and all that good stuff. Now, we have some reports that you can run that will tell us our mileage and how much we have to pay our drivers and all that good stuff. And so I'm going to go ahead and add a warehouse stop at the end of the day. And that is going to ensure that I have a completely accurate route and I can run my reports and know exactly, you know, how much I can write off and how much I owe my drivers and all that good stuff. So putting that warehouse stop at the end there, you know, gives me all the information I need to do that. Now, I've got a similar thing going on here to what I had up here in that I'm super early to all my events. So let's go ahead and adjust the start time here as well. I'm going to try 2 hours again. Okay, so that doesn't work because it's going to make us late to this event and in fact, all three of these events. This is a park event. That tree in this corner here tells us that that's a park event. And there's a different window for park events. I already adjusted it. My default window is an hour, but I changed it to an hour and a half because I figured it was going to take longer than an hour just to set up. And the idea here is, you can be 4 hours early to most events, right? Most customers aren't going to mind having their bounce house for extra time. But if you have an event at a public park, you're not going to want to get there 4 hours early because you don't want to leave your equipment sitting unattended at a public park for 4 hours, and you also don't want your workers to have to sit there for 3 hours just twiddling their thumbs, right? So you want to get there, closer to the event time for a park event. So what I need to do here is let's actually try giving myself like an extra hour here. I'm gonna say 7 o'clock, and it's still says, yeah, that's still actually going to make me late setting up this event. So, okay, so no way around it. We're just going to have these guys come in a little bit early. I'll get some burritos for them or something like that. All right, I'm comfortable with that. Once again, I am going to add a warehouse stop in here. Let's do that. And I'm going to go ahead and add a warehouse stop at the end of the day while I'm thinking of it. Okay, let's make this stop a little bit longer. Okay, so I feel like I have some pretty good routes here. I'm going to go ahead and click into the trucks. I'm going to go ahead and name the trucks. Let's say this is our gray box truck, and this is our blue box truck. All right, then I am going to assign some drivers. I'm going to assign my most handsome driver here. And a pretty reasonably good assistant. I could add more assistants if I want to. Going to assign another guy here and another one here. So then I am going to click here to open up the route. This is going to, as you can see, it has a visual map here. It's got your turn-by-turn directions, and it has a load sheet. Now, one of the cool things about these load sheets is that they're interactive. So as I'm loading items onto the truck, I can just go ahead and, mark them as loaded. But also, this is what we call surface load options. So this is the Castle combo. And, we need a blower and stakes and an extension cord, and that's based on the fact that I am setting up on dirt. Now, for this event, I'm setting up on concrete or asphalt. So for this one, I need sandbags rather than stakes. So during the checkout process, when I answered what my setup surface was going to be, that tells the system all of these extra things that my drivers are going to need to take with. And I can actually go all the way down to the bottom of my load sheet, and I can actually see all of that stuff that needs to go on the truck, so that I could just mark off, the items that are bolded, right? Because there's the big items, the bounce houses and the concession machines, etc. And then I can go down here to get all of my extra stuff. So just little things like that the routing, system does to really kind of, streamline your workflow and make things easier. Now, if I don't feel like I need my drivers to see this visual map here, I can turn that off, or I can bring it back. If I don't feel like they need the turn-by-turn directions, I can do that. Usually, I think I would want them to have those. If I didn't feel like, for whatever reason, I needed them to see the load sheets, I would do that, although that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But you get the idea. You can, take them off and on as needed. If I like to give them a printed route, I can do that here. And then if I want to send them to my drivers via SMS text message, which is the most common thing, then I'm going to go ahead and click here. So I'm going to do that, and in just a minute here, we are going to see that I have a text message with my route in it. Now, also, when I assigned the driver, not when I sent the route just now, but when I assigned the driver a few minutes ago, that automatically assigned them in the mobile app for the driver. So when I open up the mobile app, I'm going to see that I have routes assigned that day, and we'll take another look at that in just a minute here. Now, I am not going to do this whole business for truck number 2 just because you get the idea, and there's no need to for time's sake. My boss, Rob, when he was using this back in the day, this saved him about $1,600 a month in gas. This is just huge, and who knows how many hours and hours of labor it saved him, right? Like his wife probably didn't divorce him because he got some routing algorithms. So, well, there's probably other reasons she didn't divorce him. He's a pretty cool guy. Anyway, so that's routing. Let's go ahead and take a look at the CRM. This is the Customer Relationships Manager. So you can see we've got sort of a spreadsheet view of all of our different customers here. Now let's say that this is my favorite customer because he's just so handsome and charming. I can click into his... He's also very humble. I don't know if you've noticed that through this video, but I can click into his profile and I can say, man, that guy's so cool. Look, he has 130 points. Let's give him some additional loyalty points. Let's give him an additional 70 loyalty points. All right. Okay, so the new balance is 200. And then let's say, you know what? I want to give that guy some special pricing. Oh, and I don't have any custom pricing set up here. So let's actually go ahead and make a couple of quick adjustments so that we can give me some special pricing, some discounts, baby. Schedule profiles are the plumbing that, along with a few other things, sort of control pricing and that sort of thing. And I'm going to just go ahead and say allow customer level pricing yes, and submit my changes. And then when I go back into the CRM, CRM, not scheduling, and click into this awesome customer, and then I go into billing, I can edit my custom pricing. So we can see these are what we call price rules, and they work hand in hand with schedule profiles to manage your pricing and your availability and all that stuff. So we can see that for 5 hours to 10 hours, it's 20% more. Overnight is 60% more. 2 to 365 days is 100% more per day. That's how that works. And on Wednesdays, I have a minus 10. So let's say, you know what, I'm just going to give it to him for plus 10% on 5 to 10 hour rentals. I'm going to say only 50% more for overnight rentals, and let's say 75% more per day for 2 to 365 days. And then let's say that that guy is so arrogant and full of himself that I'm going to take away his custom pricing. I'm going to just go ahead and click there, and he's back to regular. But that custom pricing means that if that customer, go to the website and start to place an order, I'm going to see my own custom pricing, not the regular pricing. Now, you can actually also do that for individual items, because this is actually for any item that uses that schedule profile, which is, in this case, it's all of our items. I kept it pretty simple for this folder. You can have as many schedule profiles as you want. In this case, I was like, we'll just keep it simple. I'm just going to manage the pricing for all my stuff in basically the same way. But so the custom pricing that I just did would apply to basically all of my inventory. But you can have all of your different price rule sets managing stuff differently, and you can give custom pricing for each price rule, and or you can, just have like individual items that have special pricing. Maybe you only want to give somebody custom pricing on one item. So you can do that there. Now, here's my billing tab. So if I felt like it, I can create an invoice, and I can, let's select that, and then I can run card on file. We can see that the card on file is saved here, and I'll talk a little bit more about card on file. Long and the short of it is ERSPay is our own native payment gateway. You don't have to go to another place to reconcile and batch your credit card payments. It's all in-house. We actually are owned by a credit card processing company, or by a payment gateway. So you can take credit card payments and do all of your reports and your batching and reconciliation all within the ERS system. And we have a meter beat guarantee. So we have great rates, but if for whatever reason you're able to find better rates, we will meet them. So this card on file is stored in perpetuity, and I could just go ahead and charge the card on file, and or I could actually send the customer a receipt. Now, there's also different payment terms, right? So this is cash on delivery. We have some customers who might have, like if you have a corporate customer or a church or a school or something like that that you do orders with, on a regular basis, and maybe you just kind of bill them monthly, you don't expect them to pay every single time you show up, then you can actually change their payment terms. So you can actually change them to net 10, net 30, that sort of thing. You get the idea. Now, of course, we can, update our contact information here. We've got a record of how much tips this customer has given us. And then you can see there's also an order history in here. Now, I can call this customer by clicking here. I can send them a text message by clicking here. And I can actually send the customer an email, a templated email, by clicking here. So this enables me to go ahead and click and choose the template that I'm going to use to send this customer their email. And I can make as many different templates as I want. So the automatic emails we're going to take a look at in a little bit here. And that includes both receipts and other stuff. But then you can create these templated emails for things that you want to send a customer, manually, that you don't necessarily always want to send automatically. So you can create as many different templates as you want. And so then those templates will be available here for you to choose from. And it's real simple. You just click into that drop down, choose your template, and then click here to send it. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the automatic messages that my customers are going to receive. I'm going to go to Admin, Documents, Automatic Messages. All right, so we can see that 4 days before their event, they're going to get some reminders for a smooth party. I'm going to send them a letter the day beforehand to say something like, you can pay your balance by clicking here if you haven't already, etc. And then we've got a review request here. We've got another one that goes out 180 days after their event it's a repeat business generator, right? We want them to book again. So, and then we've actually made an availability rule that I have given the same name as the automatic message, and I will show you that availability rule. So availability rule sets are the other thing in addition to schedule profiles and price rules that are sort of like the plumbing that allow you to manage availability and pricing and all that kind of stuff. So when we look at the repeat business generator availability rule set, we can see that it has the rule has not ordered for certain amount of days, and that number of days is 180. In other words, if this customer hasn't ordered for 180 days, that email is going to send to them. It's not going to send if they have ordered within that time period. So basically this means every 6 months I'm going to check in with the customer and try to generate some repeat business. So let's actually take a quick look at that message. Okay, so this message, we can see our subject line has their name in it. That's what we call a merge field, so it just makes it feel a little more personal, right? We're actually calling them by their first name. And we've got a merge field for our company name here. We've got a link here. And you can see, basically I've just included some information about some new items that I have. And then down here, I've got some more merge fields that are going to show them their points balance. In other words, this is how many points you have. This is what coupons you're eligible for based on that point balance and all that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and take a look at this email in my inbox. So we can see that, again, it's autofilling my name in there. There is my loyalty points balance. Here are the coupons that I am eligible for based on that point balance. And one of the cool things about this particular, and then you can see if you look down in the lower left-hand corner of your screen, that this image is actually a clickable link. If they click on that, it will send them to this particular item and they can book it. So, and then, if they just want to go to the website and book from there, they can click here. So we can see that this is a really powerful way to generate a bunch of repeat business. But we've also got a really powerful abandoned order email. So I know I mentioned this earlier, that if your customers put in their contact information and don't finish checking out, they're going to get an email after a certain number of minutes encouraging them to complete their order. So let's go ahead and take a look at that email. So here is that email, and we can see right here, that is going to take us to the cart that we already had filled out. They literally just have to click here to book their order, and here we have a coupon code that they can use for the $10 off. All right, now we can see here is our review request template, and I really like this one because they just click on the review that they want to give, and if they want to give us a 5 or 4-star review, it is going to open up our Google Reviews page. So Google Reviews are incredibly valuable for SEO. In case you don't know, Google looks at reviews to either funnel business your direction if you've got good ones, or not funnel business your direction if you don't have good reviews. So again, a 4 or 5-star review is going to open up this one. That's really going to help you get more Google reviews. But if you have a 2, 3, or 1-star review, if that's what they'd like to give you, then it is going to open up into an internal survey. Now this survey is customizable. These are the default questions, but you can change them to be whatever you want. We can see that we've got number 1 through 5 there. We've got a yes or no here. We've got open-ended text fields. So there's really a lot you can do with these surveys. And there's a survey report. So you can run that report to see what issues people were having with your services. Super powerful feature. Again, you don't want those negative reviews on your Google page if you can avoid it. So this is just a clever way to get as many of those reviews as you can, of those positive reviews on Google as you can, and as many of the negative ones directly into your ERS folder as you can. All right, so a few minutes ago, I felt my phone buzz in my pocket. I'm sure that is my route. So let's take a quick look at the route that I just received via text message. I'm going to switch to my phone for this part of the video. All right, I'm opening my messages, and yep, there is my route. And sweet, yep, just like we were seeing in the full control panel in the back end, I've got my visual map, my turn-by-turn directions, and my load sheet, and I've got my interactive boxes in my load sheet, so bada bing. All right, now, as we're all aware, a lot of times people respond better to text messages than they do to emails. So we actually have an automatic text messaging feature as well. So let's take a quick look at that, because I actually have the same review request set up in my automatic text messages. All right, so we can see, there's the abandoned cart one and the pre-party reminder, and here's the real gold, the review request. So you can see there is a link right here. And we can see here in my phone screen that this is what it looks like here, and the link does the same thing as it does for the email. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at reports. We have over 100 reports in here. So we've got a really detailed tax report. We can do things like narrow it down to just one city, or look at different months. Of course, this being a demo account, I don't have any payments in September. We can export any report to CSV. We can print from here. We've got some other different formats of reports. Right here, we've got a payments report. So we can see all the different kinds of payments we've gotten. We can change our date range. So let's look at the entire year. Again, we can export this to CSV. We can look at a different kind. We can look at this kind of a report. We can look at tips. We can look at the total with the tip. You get the idea there. We've got a receivables report. So that's going to tell us all of the people who owe us money. Look at this deadbeat right here. We can go into the order and collect a payment from here. Or we can send the customer an email. I'm going to send him the pay up you deadbeat email. You get the idea. Whole lot of power in these reports. They let you get that kind of bird's eye view on, what's working and what's not. Now, as I said, there are over 100 reports in here. And as I also said earlier, we are owned by a payment gateway company. So ERSPay is our own native payment gateway. So we've got a bunch of different reports that'll help you batch and reconcile. Now, unfortunately, I can't show you any of these ERSPay reports because this is a demo account and there's no actual data going into ERSPay because there's not a real ERSPay account in this folder. But I can show you that this little nifty plus symbol there enables us to mark any report that we want to as one of our favorites. So inevitably, as you use the system, there will be some reports you use more than others. So to kind of remind yourself of which are the ones that you use the most, you just favorite them, and that way whenever you want to run that report, it's easy to find. All right, let's take a quick look at ERS Mail. ERS Mail is a mass emailing platform similar to MailChimp or Constant Contact, that sort of thing. Except it's better because it's actually part of the ERS system, so you can access your ERS data in a way that no third-party app like MailChimp or Constant Contact possibly could. So let's go ahead and create a new broadcast. I am going to call this Obstacle Course Customers. And we're going to go ahead and create some conditions. So I'm going to say the customer has rented an item from the obstacle courses category. Now we could add in some other conditions, like if we wanted to, we could add in, a rental date. Anybody who's booked, let's say, the month of October. This refers to their rental date. So, sometime in the month of October through the month of November. We can save that. And if we leave these both in place, that means they have to meet both of these criteria. If we do this, then it would mean that anybody who meets either one of these criteria will receive the email. In this particular case, I'm not going to bother with any of that stuff. I'm just going to stick with people who have rented an obstacle course at any time. And I'm going to go ahead and save that. And so we can see that narrows down our list of customers, right? It's going to send to all three of these customers, but not all of my other customers. So then I'm going to go ahead and click here to choose my template. I'm going to go with the template of the same name. I like to name things. If I'm using different parts of the system, I like to name everything that I'm using the same thing because it just kind of makes it easier. I'm going to go ahead and add some preview text here. We can see that I've already created this template. I'm going to go ahead and send it and then confirm. And I just felt my phone buzz in my pocket. So let's take a quick look at my email. All right, so here it is in my inbox. Sweet, there's the subject line. Here's my preview text. Let's go ahead and take a look at the email. Sweet. And let's test out the link functionality. Daisy is helping me, as you can see. All right, sweet. So that is working correctly. Let's go ahead and take a look at the coupon that we put in that email. I'm going to go to Admin Order Config Coupons. So the coupon that we used for that email blast that we just now sent out gives a $60 discount. That's the cost of a concession machine. So it gives them that free concession machine. But I don't want them to just get a $60 discount without a concession machine, right? So that's why I put an availability rule in there. So I am going to click here as a shortcut. I'm not actually going to edit the availability rules, but this allows me to look at the contents of the availability rules from here. So minimum category items means there has to be at least one item from the concessions and add-ons category. So we've also got point costs. So for example, if we want to have a coupon require a certain number of loyalty points in order to be able to be redeemed, then we can do that. We can apply it to the entire order or just to specific items. We can have it only apply for events within a certain date range. We can have the coupon itself need to be redeemed by a certain date. We can actually even have a coupon award points to a customer. And we can even put a particular customer ID number in here so that if we have a particular customer who gives us lots of referrals, we can actually give them their own custom coupon code so that when their friends use that coupon code, that customer actually gets points. And then we can have them redeem those points for a different coupon. Really, really powerful stuff. All right, now let's take a look at the driver app. Okay, once again, I am going to switch to my phone for this part of the video. Going to go ahead and open the driver app and log in. I can clock in from here. I can go up here to view my load sheet. With any particular order, I can click here where it says inventory to see all of the items that are in the order, including the surface load options stuff like the blower and the sandbags and all that good stuff. I can click on the little cart button there to go into the order to get more information. So I can call the order from here, the customer from here, I'm sorry. I can send the customer an email from here. I can get turn-by-turn directions. Of course, I already have those from the route having been sent earlier, but if I feel like I need a refresher or whatever, I can do that. I can click here to add an internal note. I can come in here to see the contents of the order. We can see I have a reminder set for the event, and that's customizable. I added that to be something that my drivers can click on to tell me that the delivery time is confirmed. And then we can click here to add photos. So you could put as many photos as you want into the event. And one of the things that this is useful for is you can, for example, take before and after photos, before setup and after, and before and after teardown, as kind of a cover your butt in case there's a chargeback or the customer contests something or something like that. You have some documentary evidence that your guys did a good job. So then you can go in here to see the balance, and you can take a payment. So we can take a check if that's something that we do, and that option won't show up in there if that's not something you do. Same with cash, card on file. We can enter in a manual card, or we can swipe a card. We do have swipers available. In this case, I'm going to just go ahead and do it card on file. So now the order's been paid. And then this, as I was talking about earlier with the contract, like I said, a bunch of your customers are going to sign their contract via that link in the email that they receive, so you won't have to worry about this for a lot of them, but some of them won't. So it's simple enough. You just have your driver click into there, customer reads, yada, yada, yada. They get down to the bottom, they click there to sign, they do the thing. And bada bing. So there's some other stuff we can do in here as well. Now we can assign tasks to our employees. It looks like I don't have any tasks assigned at the moment, but if I had assigned any tasks to this employee, they would show up in here, and I can mark them as done once I'm done with them. And then if I have sufficient access as a user to view the full control panel, for example, my drivers, I probably am not going to give them the full control panel. I really just want them using the driver app. They're not going to be in the full control panel that we've been looking at. They're not going to be building coupons and stuff like that. That's pretty much all they need. So in their case, they would not be able to open the control panel. But if I'm a manager or a higher level employee or the owner or whatever, I can actually open the full control panel from here. Like if I feel like I need to edit a web page and I'm out shopping, well, I can do that from in here. That's not something I would do all the time, right? It's not ideal on a phone, but the point is that you can. Anything that you can do on a regular computer, you can do it on a phone. So again, like if you're out shopping and you realize, darn, I forgot to update that web page and there's some time-sensitive information that's supposed to go on there, well, you can click into your admin tab and then go to your website and go to your responsive editor and actually edit that web page from here in your phone on the fly. So that's the driver app. So that's going to wrap this demo, or I'll never shut up. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to click below to schedule an appointment to talk with one of our specialists about how we can help you get your life back. Because we didn't even talk about the QuickBooks and other third-party integrations, the website speed scores in the high 90s, the free tech support based right here in the USA, the Facebook users group with over 2,000 members spread throughout the country who are always happy to help or talk business, the SEO quick start setup, the auto-generated site maps, the onboard help resources, the automating onboarding program that makes setup a snap, the Facebook shopping integration.